I'm an identical twin, and not only do we share emotions, we also share DNA, as proven through the manifestations of the physical tendencies we share. We both have had the experiences involving our heart, our thyroid, our gallbladder, and cancer. Can you talk to us about the energy and vibration that twins share?
Well, certainly there is the biological connection. And because we cannot separate your biology from your vibration, that everything that you've said makes sense in that sense. In other words, you are an extension of source energy. It's also really worth acknowledging that the cells of your body are like you as a full consciousness, in the sense that you are learning as you go. And the reason that anyone ever experiences an exaggeration or a progression of a disease is because the cells of your body are aware of where they stand and are somewhat, in the same way that you often do as a human, focused upon what is, and therefore perpetuating more of what is. If we were standing in your physical shoes, would talk about our relationship with the other who was born at about the same time, under about the same conditions, to the same family who lived in the same vibrational circumstances, who was being affected by the vibrations that surrounded them. We would refer to that twin birthing in those biological senses, but we would not talk about them in terms of energy. We would proclaim our individual reality, because really, if you really want to think about it, all humans that are coming forth could be called twins, in the sense that they are all coming forth from source energy and are all extensions of source energy, but all come from the same beginning. Now, it's different when you come from the same egg and the same sperm. In other words, we really get the twinness in all of this. But we want you to amplify and exaggerate for yourself the fact that you are a singular extension of source energy, and that you have an inner being who is unique to you. Unique to you. You may not have a mother who is unique to you, and you may not have a father who is unique to you, but you have an inner being, a source energy, who is unique to you. And yet there is this vortex, this collective vortex. In other words, that which man wants to call God is not unique to anyone individually, but the specifics of it are unique. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. So the reason that we would demand that perspective from ourselves is because there is no reason in the world for you or anyone to assume that things are happening to you outside of your control, because nothing ever does. There are many instances. We always say that similarities, that your tendencies and your diseases don't pass so much through your bloodlines as they do through your thought lines. And then someone always says, but my twin was on the other side of the world and I was unaware of that. And so is there not some biological remembering? And we say, of course there is. Of course, if you could even begin to digest what goes on in the workings, the inner workings of a physical body, you can't even begin to comprehend the vibrational conversations that are taking place among the trillions of cells. In other words, your physical apparatus is a complex apparatus, and it is the vibrational aspect of it that is the most important thing to you. And so if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would decide today that my strongest awareness is going to be between my relationship with my other twin, my non-physical counterpart, the source energy part of me. And we would say to you, and the source energy part of you is unique to you. Now, in the beginning of our conversation with Jerry and Esther and many, people wanted to talk about soulmates. And Jerry and Esther especially wanted to hear us say, yes, you are soulmates, because they felt such resonance and harmony from the moment of their first meeting. And as time went on, we were able to help them understand that you are technically a soulmate to everyone who is on the planet, but that you come forth with intentions that carry as stronger patterning. And that what feels like this soul mating with another is not because you have rendezvoused with a person that you have vibrational tentacles to or roots to. It is that sometimes in this coupling or in this rendezvousing, you are inspired to a connection to your source as the other is inspired to a connection of their source. So the two of you have found a homecoming and are giving each other the credit for it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
in other words, you have the ability to feel deep, powerful love for anyone that you are focused upon, provided you are in vibrational sync with who you really are at the time. So, of course, as physical beings, you are not new to this physical experience. And there are energies that you translate into people or family or friends that you've interacted with endlessly. There are relationships that you experience that are eternal. But no one, not one person ever, not one energy consciousness ever said, I'll go forth in the physical and I'll be vibrationally tied to something other than what is uniquely my source energy. You say. So what you bring us to mostly is a conversation about expectation. Expectation is such an interesting thing because it's also the subject of focusing on what is, and what is being the thing that dominates your vibrational patterns. For most people, what is what dominates the vibration that they offer. And there's nothing exceptionally wrong with that. It's sort of normal for people, but it is hindering in the sense that it keeps you from giving your attention sometimes to something that is potentially much more in harmony with who you have really become, you say.
Right.
Something more or something more specific?